Rob, you have complete control of this final segment. So, would I rather this or that? Let's go. Hit me.
Yes, would you rather? I am taking this from a site called signupgenius.com, and it's 100 would you rather questions.
That just sounds like some pyramid scheme or something. Would I rather be involved in the pyramid scheme or with a Nigerian prince?
Oh dear, don't get me started on pyramid schemes. We'll leave that for a conversation for another day. But anyway, so I'm just going to pick a random one. In fact, Kieran, give me a number between 1 and 100.
46.
46. Would you rather have nosy neighbours or noisy neighbours?
Ooh. I would have to say noisy neighbours, mainly for the fact that I value my privacy a hell of a lot. I think in terms of like what could you do to avoid or limit the disturbance of noisy neighbours? I mean, you could probably get a wrecking ball and destroy their house.
Well, for me, it depends on what kind of noise. Like, if they're playing metal or rock out loud, then I wouldn't mind that at all, you know.
Yeah, like, as long as my mic doesn't pick it up, I'm okay with that. But if they're like nosy neighbours and like I'm streaming or something like that, and they're knocking on my door saying, "Can you keep it down, please?" when I'm only like whispering like that, I'm like,
yeah, if it's hypocritical noisy neighbours, then I don't have time for that at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, even better if they're in a band or something or play instruments, because I'll be tempted to join them.
Yeah,
I'm always looking for people to jam with, you know, and if they're next door, even better.
I don't mind if they're noisy as long as they keep me involved with stuff. If I'm their friends, and they are not just only 18 and are drinking Frosty Jacks, because then
oh dear,
the kind of shit they talk is probably not to my liking. But then again, that's my intolerant side coming out. So calm yourself, Kieran. Yeah. So that's the first one. That's my. So yeah.
Gonna have to put a leash on Kieran immediately after episode 1. Yeah. No, I think I would go with noisy neighbours. Like, it's definitely if it's music related. You know, I wouldn't mind that, because I mean, at the end of the day, it'll probably mean I can make as much noise as I want. And I've been trying to record home demos, and I'm always very self-conscious about whether I'm too loud for the neighbours or too loud for anyone that I occupy this house with. So if it's noisy neighbours, they're not going to give that much of a toss about how much noise I'm making myself when I'm recording my stuff. So I'm definitely going to go for that one.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Okay, next one.
Okay, how many more do you want me to do?
Well,
before we wrap this up.
I've put in 10 minutes for this, so just
let's do one more. Let's do one more, and then we'll call it a day on the first Key Yard podcast.
Okay.
So give me another number between 1 and 100.
All right, to end it off, give me 69. Come on, what's 69?
What's 69 this day and age? Would you rather be gossiped about or never talked about at all?
Oh, well, if I was never talked about at all, I'd never get subscribers, so that's out of the question. No. To be honest,
then again, this is actually a very good question to end on, considering we're about to start a podcast.
To be honest,
so I guess we could put it in the podcast context and say, would we rather this podcast be gossiped about or never talked about at all?
I think gossiped about. I think it depends on the context of how many people are gossiping about you and who is gossiping about you, and can you do anything to like get the other people who are not gossiping about you to tell them that whatever is being gossiped about you is bullshit. Whereas for me, I would prefer to think that if someone, I would feel betrayed and hurt if a close friend gossiped about me, and or believed gossip about me instead of coming straight to me and asking me. But if someone I hardly knew or even dare I say cared about gossiped about me, then I would just say sticks and stones to them, because I know who I am. People close to me know who I am, so that's mainly what matters. So yeah, I suppose no one talked about me, as long as it doesn't get me into trouble with the law or anything like that. So yeah, I'll still say gossip.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's if it put into the context of like my music. In fact, I was actually kind of. It's kind of a good link actually. I was recently sharing a tune of mine on another Discord I'm a part of regarding Devin Townsend. He streams on Twitch, which I'm absolutely delighted about because I'm a huge fan of his. And he goes through his songwriting process and production work. He works on songs as he streams. So I'd highly recommend if you're into Devin or into metal in general to look up on that Twitch. But anyway, I'm a part of his Discord, and there's a tab called Share Your Stuff. So I shared one of my tunes, and it got constructive criticism. It was mainly constructive criticism. So saying, "Oh well, you can do this better. Production's not great," and I was just like, "Thank you for actually listening, though, and for giving me feedback." So, in terms of that sort of gossip, I would definitely rather sort of be in that camp than never talked about at all, because I have issues as well with kind of not being seen as like relevant in my circle of friends as well.
Yeah, I've always like had a lot of history with being the one who's left out and stuff like that, and it's kind of a nightmare for me to like it's not like I crave attention or I'm looking for attention or anything like that. It's nothing to do with that. It's more like say like you're in a dorm or something and everybody this sounds very specific, which it is. So I'll come out of the blue and say this is based on a true story. Where coming back to a dorm and everybody's in one room watching a movie, and when you knock on the door and say, "Hey, what's going on?" they say, "Go away." Then I'm just like, yeah, okay, fuck you guys, I suppose.
There we go. First F-bomb of the podcast.
I think that was the second. Yeah. I think in terms of censoring out and stuff like that, I'll probably like.
Yeah. We'll work something out.
But
that's a very good point. Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think I did any much. Did I do anything? I don't know. It was so long ago that I can't really remember the ins and outs. So, and plus it happened a while ago. But yeah, not dwelling on that too much.
You were saying you have issues with privacy on that previous one.
Yeah.
I guess if you were never talked about at all, you could definitely keep that privacy, and you have less of a risk of being sort of castigated by strangers that you don't know,
Yeah, but it's a catch-22, isn't it? It's like you can be talked about, but people can still knock before entering, I suppose. Like, if like someone knocked on my door and I said, give me 10 minutes, if they respect my privacy and my boundaries, then they'd come back another day. If they just came in, got a battering ram and broke my door, then I would be very pissed. To say the least.
Well, there you go. So I think we're both in agreement then we would rather be gossiped about than never talked about at all.
Yeah.